off the table. Karma taken away. You'd have to think that Newbee would ban the Vlad here.
Potentially, you know, maybe they have something else in store for it. Rek'Sai is also seeing a lot of prevalence, as well as Trundle in bans. Of course, Rek'Sai already banned, means that maybe they go towards a Trundle.
Nidalee was actually banned out by RNG last game. And Sivir was banned out by Newbee last game, so it seems like they know where the preference lies in terms of AD carries and junglers for both these two teams. Sivir is the ban coming out from Newbee one more time here. So leaves Nidalee open, and they're going to lock it in. So Vladimir's still left on the table for Newbee.
See whether one more time Dade wants to throw the gauntlet. Of course, he's not going to have the exact same matchup, even if he does. But it looked like xiaohu was comfortable playing against it. MLXG is a great Nidalee, by the way. Really impressive. Want to see whether he goes a similarly aggressive style build. Not expecting to see Moby boots, but the Dark Steel always a possibility.
It does leave Trundle and Vladimir open, which Newbee are looking to try and lock in here. They do get the Trundle and the Vladimir, two very powerful picks coming out from the Newbee lineup.
Yeah, they certainly are, and look, on anyone else I would agree, but once again, both champions require a couple of items to get going and actually execute on their game plan. And RNG gave them about half an item last time before they started putting the screws in. So we'll see whether something similar happens this game, or whether Newbee maybe go towards a lane swap and, you know, try and delay the pace of this game.
Saw standard lanes last game, so we'll have to check in to see what they do.
And that was a huge mistake, because Pekko and Morz, as Ezreal Braum, has really never been able to stand up to, like, really aggressive bottom lanes in the 2v2 situation.
Gonna get another aggressive bottom lane coming from RNG. They opt not to go for the Jhin. Instead, they lock in Caitlyn and Braum as their bottom lane duo.
Yeah, so Uzi going back to his favorite pickup. You know, maybe just reminding people that he can play the Jhin and maybe keep your eyes on it, but now wants to go back to some comfort. Gives them the scaling feel as well. It's very hard for Trundle to get on top of Caitlyn, especially. Has to run over all those traps to even look at getting there.
90 caliber net also closes or separates them a little bit more. So they're looking at picking up Elise and Jhin here during the next pick rotation. Swift trying to put on his best mlxg impersonation. And Happy, he's a player that has played Jhin a couple of times here, so he locks that one in.
Cool, so a little bit more early game feel here. Out of the Elise and the Jhin specifically, they have some great layering of CC. When you have Trundle Vladimir, you're needing initiation out of your AD carry. That means either Ashe or Jhin, pretty much, being available at this stage of the game.
RNG still looking to pick their mid laner and top laner. Let's see what they decide to lock in. LeBlanc, definitely a possibility for xiaohu. It's very strong on the champion. He's played it quite a few times. He does have the Victor left up and available, which is his most played champion in the split.
You know, going into Vladimir, Kassadin is a huge risk, because Vladimir clears waves very early on, forces Kassadin underneath that table. Turret. Don't really have any trading potential there. Like the Hecarim at the same time, however, he can go toe-to-toe with Trundle, definitely.
And they lock that one in, so we'll see Hecarim heading up into the top lane here for RNG. And Kassadin is the pick of choice coming in for xiaohu.
I'm really worried, actually, about that mid lane matchup. Dade should, this time around, be able to dominate xiaohu. He's the range, he's got the wave clear. Nothing really in favor of xiaohu. But we've already talked about it once tonight. For some reason, Chinese mid laners just love Kassadin in these matchups.
Well, Newbee now looking to try and pick their final pick, which should be a support. It could still be a top lane if they decide to flex the Trundle into that position. Or even a mid lane if they decide to put Vladimir up top. But no, it's going to be Zed. So that is going to be Vladimir up in the top lane. They do flex the Trundle into support here. Dade is looking to kill this Kassadin.
Spanners thrown everywhere. And, you know, maybe they put the Hecarim mid lane.
Also possible.
Very possible.
It's probably going to be what happens here. Hecarim is going to go into mid lane for RNG. Nope, they swap it out last minute.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Unlucky.
Because Lupa does play Kassadin, has played it a lot. But we will have the Kassadin into Zed matchup. Dade going back to one of his old school champions.
This is interesting. That's just one of the opportunities I was thinking of, and they do go for it, which is last pick their mid laner. Newbee really looking for an avenue attack here against RNG.
And I mean, in their win versus Saint, they played the Twisted Fate, a key dade champion. Then in a victory over Vici, they pull out the Yasuo, another key dade champion. This time goes back to probably his most famous assassin in the Zed. He was really a fantastic team fighting Zed, and I can't wait to see him pull it out one more time.
Let's see what he can do on this Zed as we head into game number 2 between Newbee and RNG. We're on to Summoner's Rift here for game number 2 between Newbee and RNG. Currently, RNG lead the best of 3 series 1-0. And we're going to get a Kassadin to go up against a Zed in the mid lane. This is going to be interesting.
So Trundle hasn't been seen for a while down in the bottom lane. It's a Deathfire touch Vladimir as well. All right, this is going to be interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's try and break this down. Yeah, so this is going to be very interesting, to say the least. Zed has always been a great pick into Kassadin. Kassadin generally has to go... Ooh, Mor's in here.
Uzi actually can be in a little bit of trouble
flash.
here. Has the flash very early.
I don't think he actually had to. But, you know, does choose to burn the summoner spell. So Kassadin, generally you max out your Q. It's your primary harass, and it also helps nullify a lot of magic damage. Problem is, Zed does no magic damage, not even deathmatch. Everything is physical. So then you can try and match wave clear with something like an E-Max, as Marta now getting chased out by Mor. Everyone stay cool. And you know, you've already seen that Mor and Happy, they do want to be a little bit more aggressive than what they were in game number 1. They're going to try and force Uzi and Marta off their camp.
Oh, Uzi's going to be able to take down the...
Oh, he stole it.
Happy takes away the small Krug there. Already not a good start for the bottom lane duo of Uzi and Marta.
Yep, no, this has got to be flashbacks as well to when I think it was Wolf from SKT played the Trundle against him as well. He just used the brute tankiness of the champion to continue to walk forward and bully away Marta on support. We'll see whether Mor can replicate some of that, although there's a little bit of a skill disparity between those two supports.
It does mean we're going to get standard lanes coming out from these two teams as well. So Jhin and Trundle up against the Caitlyn and Braum. Top side, we will see the Hecarim take on the Vladimir. We did see Nidalee start on the top side of the map, so did Elise. So clear up the top side, moving towards the bottom side of Summoner's Rift first.
And we'll see whether there's any cute jungle pathing coming through from mlxg, because Nidalee is one of the junglers that flies through very quickly. As it's actually the bottom duo from Newbee that are getting an early advantage here and maybe looking to be the catalyst their team needs to be able to start having some map pressure finally.
Happy did hit level 2 first, as Swift is already moving aggressively towards this mid lane, only after taking his red buff and clearing the top side of the jungle. Now looking to try and get a gank on towards xiaohu here. He's forced to back in towards the bottom side of his jungle. Even at the top side of the map, Looper taking a lot of damage. Yeah,
Looper's actually going to struggle in this matchup. I mean, we already mentioned everything bad about the Kassadin matchup because it's so melee versus Vladimir. I guess nothing really changes there, making it now the Hecarim.
Mor actually taking a lot of damage here from Uzi. It pops down the pillar just at the end of that engagement. That was a good trade coming out from the RNG lineup.
Yeah, certainly was. Able to get it done there.
xiaohu being a little bit aggressive here towards Dade.
Yeah, actually shoving Dade in. Dade went with the greedy refillable potion start. So he hasn't actually got as much sustain as a Kassadin and is being shoved in a little bit and bullied off the waves.
It's a good play so far coming out from xiaohu, but here's an Elise coming to the bottom side of the map. Uzi going to get locked down. It's going to be chunked out as well. There was no flash onto the Caitlyn earlier, so it does get locked as well. Now Mor in a little bit of trouble. Puts the exhaust down towards Happy. He's going to get dived here as Happy takes a lot of tower shots, but it's going to be Swift that gets in there and gets out alive. Double kill coming out for Newbee.
So they're able to live and they actually bully out the flashless Caitlyn. We already mentioned how important it is to have the Jhin in the bottom lane. You saw a little bit of a drive-by from mlxg on Nidalee throwing a spear in at dade, but he's underneath his turret nice and safe. Maybe Newbee have unlocked an early game win condition.
Possibly. They're already about 1,000 gold ahead of RNG, a very early advantage going on over towards that Jhin, and a big wave that will crash towards the turret that won't be picked up.
So Happy has the gold advantage, 31 CS. He's 7 up already. He already has a couple of kills. He's got the experience advantage as well because of the CS and kills. Goes back, grabs a serrated Dirk and some boots. It's a good start for the Jhin.
Uzi Mimo was only able to head back to base, pick up the boots and a dagger here. So yeah, very good start for Newbee so far. Mid lane is not going quite as we expected though. It's still very even between xiaohu and dade. It's still not by any chance a lane that Kassadin wants to be in.
Honestly, dade should be able to kill him now, however. I mean, he's about to have Deathmark. He has the Hex Drinker as well as the Ignite. No combat summoner spell coming out of Kassadin. Not even something like an Exhaust, which you normally see against a Zed. Of course, QSS quite useless now as well, so he has to rush his Zhonya's.
Top side of the map is going in Newbee's favor as well, as V is being rather aggressive towards Looper. It's about 10 CS up ahead of this Hecarim. mlxg has been farming a Storm though, 24 CS to the 18 of Swift. Just hasn't had the same map impact just yet. And Swift that did get the double kill down in the bottom lane, or assisted Happy in picking up that double kill.
They certainly did, and that's really what they needed to get done in the early game anyway. So Swift, even though he's not farming up, we already said that we like to see Elise's be nice and aggressive. Certainly has been the case.
Uzi now trying to freeze this wave as close to his turret as possible. He's been keeping up in CS quite nicely. If he hits all of these, he'll be even with Happy. Tags him with the Q as well.
He's Uzi, mate. Of course he's going to hit them all. Oh, pressure's on now. Oh, he missed one. What a disaster. Spoke too soon. This is why you never have faith in people, Fish. They are only going to let you down.
Mata, though, going to get chunked out here. Puts down the shield. More steps on towards a trap. Happy still putting lots of damage down with the bouncing grenades.
That actually really shows you a good example of Uzi's mindset. So he always used to say that he would rather auto-attack champions and creeps, and he would give up a couple of CS advantage to be able to put some pain down on people. And he still, ooh, Uzi's being caught out a little bit here. You saw that time around that as soon as they walk into turret range, Uzi's continually hitting champions as opposed to creeps. Wants to see if he can chunk out Happy a little bit, but with the big item disparity so far, the auto attacks don't do as much.
They hurt coming out from Jhin here. They're just going to continue to hurt if he's able to stay ahead in this bottom lane. Other than the bottom lane advantage that's been given over towards Newbee, it's been a fairly quiet game. Lanes are going as we expected them to. Except the mid lane for now, which is relatively even between dade and xiaohu.
Yeah, it certainly is. And even though he went back and got that shop in, had the death mark, xiaohu still hasn't really been punished by dade. He's doing a great job of keeping the farm pretty equalized. And we already mentioned this once today, but if, you know, Kassadin's in an equal lane, he's pretty happy.
Dodges out the cocoon there, coming in from Swift. He's been very patient on this Kassadin, moving into CS only when he has the opportunity to do so. Took Thunderlords as well on the mid lane champion, so he has a lot of burst potential if dade does get locked down.
Yeah, and it's funny because we used to see Death by Touch picked up by Kassadin a lot. You know, scaling the percentage pen worked brilliantly against some of the tanks. The solo trade that you go for in lane of just throwing out that Q against people would be a little bit stickier with that mastery.
Nice dodge coming from xiaohu. Evades lots of the shuriken damage. He's been doing really well. I'm going to start to sound like a broken record unless dade can kill him in the lane once or twice. Up on the top side of the map, though, it is going the way we expected it. Looper is about 15 CS behind this Vladimir right now on Hecarim.
But Hecarim actually does really have nice, clean itemization. Like, he has really good itemization if he just wants to rush Trinity Force, but also Spirit Visage into Trinity Force, or Spirit Visage even into tank. He still has enough disruption in CC and teamfights to be good with cooldown reduction. So you don't really mind seeing him fall that far behind in the early game. I mean, if he gets blown out by like 50 CS, of course you're going to be concerned. But right now, keeping it in around the 10 to 20 mark is completely fine. And he's going Trinity Force anyway. I mean, Ghost Hecarim with a Jhin, if he hits the 80 carry, puts in some work. So you can understand exactly why he's going for it.
You can see Swift there was trying to give the blue buff one over towards dade. Doesn't get it. Not that big of a disaster though. He is a Zed, doesn't really need mana. There's a Curse Call coming up from Happy there. Gets the first shot towards Uzi. Mata going to probably block the rest here. Does block them all. Gets
But
down
you
to
can see
health.
it's pretty much half health from just the ultimate there.
Yep.
At a Happy. That's a lot of the initiation gone from what is a level 6 Braum Caitlyn combo, and we know that they want to be aggressive with it.
Swift even making his way down towards the bottom side of the map. Dade was trying to follow too.
Dade got blue. What are you talking about?
Oh, he did too. My eyes must be deceiving me. There's now mlxg in a lot of trouble here. Dade goes over the wall. Swift to the cocoon's able to lock him down. And surprise attack on towards Nidalee.
Yeah, and Dade doesn't actually even burn the ultimate there. All of a sudden, now all the bottom lane is in the mid lane.
So I've got to be a little bit careful. Rift walks away back towards the turret. It's Looper now being chased down by V and Swift. Going to be able to run away though. Hecarim is a rather fast champion.
Yeah, certainly is. Gallops around Summoner's Rift majestically.
And just when RNG starts to lose the early game, the dragons spawn in their favor. It's an air dragon or cloud drake that's currently up and available. So no combat drakes coming out just yet. Looper's going to be able to find Swift here. Force the flash out of the Elise. Now V's going to go for the fight instead.
Didn't actually get the E burst damage down, and you saw that the pincer was coming out of dade, so xiaohu doesn't want to overcommit there. They will back away. Looper burns a summoner spell.
Looper picked up Jhin as his first item. He's looking to be aggressive despite the difficult lane that he's up against right now.
And, you know, maybe it's just going to be a build path change. I mean, right now he is going towards some more MR, but you can put a couple of more points into the W, that Spirit of Dread. Make sure that, you know, the burst damage won't be there from the E, but you have a much better laning phase. You're able to sustain up nicely versus Vladimir. It's a little bit more mana hungry, but one of the best things about Hecarim is you can just shove out your wave, recall, gallop back, top speed. And it really is just mlxg trying to get an advantage back through counter jungling, through farming up the jungle as quickly as possible, try and put some CS between him and Swift, because they've kind of given up on winning any of these little ganks.
And tell that to Looper. He's looking to try and dominate V up on the top side of this map, get some good damage down. Crimson Rush comes out from V. He's not close enough to get a transfusion off.
And they're actually going for a hard lane swap here. They want it to be able to hit the turret, be able to get their duo up there and try and trade as quickly as possible. The recalls come out immediately out of Jhin and Trundle. We'll see whether they match or whether they just go down and actually acknowledge the lane swap being occurred.
V's got to be a little bit careful here because there's 4 members of RNG up on the top side of the map. There's the Ace and Hawk comes out. Looper also charged in with the ultimate. There's an ultimate for Mata. 2, 3 ultimates burn onto a Vladimir that just goes into its tides of blood. Get all his abilities rolls.
Yep.
His pull.
Sanguine pull.
Sanguine pull just to run away. They're going to be able to take the turret for that, but that's a lot of ultimates trying to take down one Vladimir.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, you know, it doesn't really work, but they maybe will get the turret down. They get a lot of damage down at least. Will equalize at about 1,000 gold. But the first proactive move of the game really coming out from RNG, showing that not only can they bully early games, they can try and move you around the map. Nice job from Swift there, picking up the first Cloud Drake. It's going to be a second.
RNG. But Newbee did send HappyY more up to the top lane as well, so trying to match this 2-on-2 for now. There was good damage, like we mentioned earlier, coming out from from RNG on towards that turret. So a few pushes will be enough to take it down. Uzi already looking towards his Zeal item as the first item complete. He did get the BS sword first time round. Yoma's Ghostblade already up and running for Happy, so big power spike for the Jhin.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you know that's probably why they wanted to swap away. They knew that the Yomiz was going to come out, and that right now Uzi can't go toe-to-toe with his former teammate. Newbee do the right thing. They give a lot of power over to the Jhin, and they've got firm control one more time of the side of the map that the duo lane is on.
Swift now takes away his own red buffs. Not going to get counter jungled by mlxg on that side of the map. He's actually 30 CS down behind the Elise. Xiaohu being a little bit aggressive towards dade here.
But really, the fact that he's got 2 assists there and he's given 2 kills over to key members, I mean, 1 onto the Jhin, 1 onto the Zed, I mean, Swift's early game is done. Really, all that he's here for now is to continue to put pressure out on the map. Not really expected to win the 1v1 versus MLXG.
He's not going to try and take away this blue buff or force MLXG to smite at least. MLXG does win that smite war. Now there's lots of members for Newbee on the top side of the map here.
Yeah, trying to collapse in. I mean, Dade's already there. He's going searching for him at the Wolf Camp. They've pinged him out, actually.
MLXG has to be a little bit careful. Flashes away rather early. Dade still continuing to chase. But
Here we
the
go.
Teleport coming in from RNG. It's Looper that's looking
TP.
for the spy. xiaohu teleports in. Looper coming to the back lines here, looking for a flank on top of the Newbee lineup. Braum moving it to. Moore's really low. There's Looper on top of 2. Happy going to get feared up. Moore should be the first to fall, but Marta's going to follow shortly after. A full team fight broke out. Happy's being jumped on by xiaohu. Swift tries to defend the V. Is trying to get into the back lines here. Gets lots of damage now. Kurtzakor does come out, but can't find anyone. Just out of range, and just the 2 supports will fall down.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but that was on a knife's edge. All of a sudden, Dade face checking gets taken out by MLXG. Great kill on the back end of it, and that should be the turret falling in the top lane. RNG going to get their gold lead back nearly.
What a team fight coming in from RNG there, but MLXG in a little bit of trouble. Getting it locked down. Swift should be able to pick up the kill here. Goes into repel mode. A little bit greedy from the cat.
A little bit greedy? I mean, he just sticks around and dies for absolutely no reason. At best, you're going to get a Raptor cap. At worst, you give away the kill. And all of a sudden, Looper, he's going to get caught out as well. They're Moby boots.
He's got no mana on this Hecarim. Swift is just going to chase him
Goodbye,
down.
cruel
Slows
world.
him down as well. And the Hecarim is going to fall. And RNG did find an opportunity to get back into this game. They're only 500 gold behind Newbee now, but it could have been so much better.
Yeah, it certainly could have been. It could have been about 600 gold better to be precise. Instead, they give away 2 kills. That's undisciplined play out of RNG and their young jungler. And all of a sudden, you know, we said Swift, he's 30 CS down. Well, that doesn't matter at all because he's picked up 2 kills. Double pick ward. Thank you, Observer.
As the Armada have made their way down towards the bottom side of the map, you can see Newbee scrambling to try and get down here. That's a very fast spider with the Cloud Drake assisting in those movie boots, trying to wrap around on top of Ryze here. Doesn't get the cocoon out, but still chasing on forward. So much damage goes down on towards this Caitlyn. Gets underneath the turret quite safely there, but Moore still looking for something.
Still
A
going.
good pin comes out from the pillar there. Dade's going to continue to chase. They find a kill on towards Uzi.
Yeah, so they overcommit really for Uzi. They burn a lot, but they're able to grab it. Pincer now coming out of the Kassadin.
xiaohu looking for something, gets a double slowdown, but he's been locked down as well. Swift straight on top of the Kassadin here. Swift does get stun locked by the Braum passive. There's Marta going to be the one that picks up the kill. He's going to pay for it with his life. There's MLXG straight in. Dade pops the ultimate. Deathmark on top of the cat. He's going to fall down to it as Looper tries to get the ultimate across V, but it goes straight into the Sanguine pool. He's trying to run. Looper doesn't have enough health to continue this fight. Straight back on top of Moore, though, who was caught around lingering. V going to try and take down xiaohu here, but he's been caught between a rock and a hard place. A scrappy team fight from these 2 teams.
And all of a sudden, Happy's in here. Here comes the ultimate. He's looking for Looper. Not able to find him.
Not going to get a second either. Looper jigging quite nicely. The 4th one still to come out. Not going to connect either. Looper with the happy feet to evade those shots.
And all of a sudden, we're back to an even game. RNG with a fantastic little skirmish. Marta, unfortunately, picking up a couple of the kills. But they've been able to just pull Newbee around the map. And Newbee's overzealous in trying to take out Uzi to kick that one off. You know, burning a couple of flashes really did come back to hurt them.
Uzi's got a major item for himself now. Picked up the Runan's Hurricane. You can see the damage dealt in those fight. Uzi, Happy, the rivals of AD carries doing nothing.
Nothing. They were right all along. It's not an AD carry meta.
Oh, God. Still, like you said, even between RNG and Newbee right now, even though Newbee are 9-5 in terms of kills picked up.
Yeah, they do have the turret up, remember. So that is a little bit of inflated gold that should be equalized as this game progresses. Uzi continuing to farm out these sideways. 0-2-1, not the game he would have hoped for on the Caitlyn.
Still farming up quite nicely. Was able to close that CS deficit he was put in by Happy. And is now even further in terms of a CS lead against this Jhin. 20 CS up now.
Yeah, there's one thing, like, a couple of things in life. You know, taxes, death, the fact that Uzi going to get a CS lead, xiaohu probably going to die. There we go. Called them all before they happen. Not
too sure about the second last one there. Close enough. This Dragon's going to be respawning in like 3 seconds here. Loop is actually behind the rest of the newbie lineup here.
See whether they want to fight again.
They found more of a nice spear coming out from mlxg. There goes Looper straight into the backlines with the ultimate, but a teleport is going to be coming out. RNG looking to try and disengage here as V uses the Proto Belt to try and jump on top of Mata here. The first ult comes out from the Curtical, finds Uzi, gets him. And the fourth one will land on mlxg as well. Lots of damage goes down, and Newbee find 2 kills.
Yeah, they certainly do. So it's RNG that engaged this time around, but Newbee have all of the answers. They're able to pick it up. Second air Drake on its way. They're going to be moving quick.
They certainly are, especially with the Moby boots coming out from the Elise here. Not quite the combat stats we were looking for, but I guess they'll take what they're given. And they're getting in an Ocean Dragon afterwards.
That is so brutally unlucky. I think we went Mountain Infernal last game.
Yep.
This game we've gone Air, Ocean. And you feel that with Looper continuing to scale up, you went Sheen into what is pure tank now. The game is going to eventually becoming harder for Newbee, although they do also have the scaling of the Vladimir.
She does take the red buff away from Swift. He's been doing quite a lot of counter jungling this game. He's 60 CS up ahead of Swift.
We say this a lot about Newbee, but pressure is actually on Dade to be able to assassinate Uzi. Because no one else can really close onto the Caitlyn in these team fights. So if the Zed flies in and gets his man, and Uzi's fallen multiple times this time around, will be a good news story.
There's a lot of damage that will be coming out from the Newbie lineup. V, Swift, Dade all diving in with a Jhin ultimate behind them.
Yeah, but the problem is, the later the game goes, like when he's got 5 points in those traps, when he's got the double Zeal items flying around the Rift, there's just a risk of diving onto the Caitlyn because of how much damage she does, and you have to go through so much. Dade is really the only one that can do it safely. I mean, others can get back there, you're right, but you kind of have to walk towards him if you're a Vladimir, if you're the Elise.
Well, let's see if RNG can keep Uzi safe. He's still looking for his next few items to pick up his Infinity Edge first, before going for that double Zeal.
Definitely a good 10 minutes still away from being impactful in this game, as Looper now has to canter away.
There goes the pillar coming down. Ultimate actually comes out from the Hecarim, dodges out the first ultimate coming out of the curtain call. I think Uzi just wants
you're embarrassing yourself.
You should just cancel that one, Abby. Second time round where they've all airballed a Hecarim, dodging back and forth.
Different item build coming out from mlxg here. He's actually going for CDR, so grabs the Abyssal, going towards what is a Zhonya's Hourglass right now. Generally, we used to see him go towards the Ryze Crystal Scepter. 2
Zhonya Hourglasses coming out from both xiaohu and mlxg.
xiaohu going there a little bit later. I mean, he's got a needlessly large rod. Maybe just had the 1300 gold one more time. But you're right, has the other 2 components towards the Zhonyas.
xiaohu now moving down towards the bottom side of the map here.
And being able to match the Vladimir split push is actually really good for xiaohu, because there was serious kill threat coming out of Dade. I mean, one of the annoying things about Zed is he kind of goes with Kassadin on his Rift Walk, so even if you do manage to Zhonya's the Zed ult, unless you can put out enough damage to really challenge Zed in the 1v1, he just waits for you to come out and kills you afterwards. So really is nice that he gets to have the free lane versus V right now, because you can see that he is farming up a storm, 188 CS.
Newbee at the flip side, matching each other's builds, it seems. There's 2 Proto Belts coming out from the top laner and jungler. AD carry and mid laner both have gone for the Yomi's Ghostblade and more of Mortius.
So another Proto Belt on an Elise jungle. Very interesting there. Is stat efficient. Cooldown reduction's always good on your jungler.
Yep.
I feel it's one of those items where you can justify it. Like, no, it has tanky stats. And everyone's like, we know it's a damage item. No, I'm going tanky after this, trust me. And both V and Swift, Swift and mlxg are probably people to have that kind of argument with their team.
V also going for a little bit more damage on this Vladimir. Looper now pushing up the top side of the map. He does have the Dead Man's Plate being picked up on the Hecarim. Helps him out with the extra movement speed, giving him even more damage. And also burst when he hits someone with that E.
Yeah, and really that's what it's all about. Put the Ghost on, grab your E, and just run it Happy as quick as possible. As soon as he gets to Trinity Force, if he hits the concussor, the momentum shot there from the Dead Man's Plate, it does damage.
Lots of damage, in fact. Is V taking a chunk of that?
And he has Fervor of Battle, so, he also has fairly decent sustained damage throughout these team fights also.
But not too much action taking place so far. Newbee have reclaimed the 2,000 gold lead ahead of RNG.
Yeah, and there's not really all that much to fight over, to be honest. Like, still very, very early to go towards Baron for either of these teams without legitimate tanks.
Air Dragons.
Air Dragons are spawning left, right, and center. There's an Ocean Dragon coming up next. I'm not expecting a massive 10-man fight over that, although we are still watching the LPL. So anything is possible here. Double items picked up for Uzi's a good news story, but that's not really going to cause anything. It's more the third item that you wait for on the Caitlyn.
Zonya's also being picked up there by xiaohu, so able to avoid some of the damage that would come out from Zed. He's actually been locked down by a Cocoon here.
Yeah, so they have to give up another turret in the bottom lane. They're not really going to give anything in response, and it looks like RNG, they're happy to see control over to the Newbee lineup, and Newbee finally have the game where they're going to get into a 30-minute game, either ahead or even, and we've seen this time and time again. This is where they win.
RNG were not able to capitalize on the scrappy early game that comes out from Newbee at all. In fact, it was Newbee that looked more dominant during the early game here. RNG are picking up their defensive items, which they really need against such an aggressive lineup of Newbee. No real frontline tank coming out from the Newbee lineup. So RNG still have Looper. Can soak up a significant amount of damage on the Hecarim.
Yeah, and he's going double defensive items, so he did stop at the Jhin, recognizes the fact that he needs to be the person that can tango at the front of the team. 20 seconds until Dragon. I really want to see whether they actually go towards this to fight, or whether it's just, you know, they're happy to see control over one more time to Newbee give them 3 dragons, because the threat of the Elder Dragon actually does start coming in then.
Especially since this is going to be the second last Elemental Dragon, so only one more to fight for before Elder Dragon spawns. The Ocean Dragon is up and online, neither team making an aggressive effort towards the pit just yet.
Double teleport available for RNG. A lot of unspent gold actually on mlxg, so they probably don't want to fight this at all. They're probably just happy to give this one away.
That's probably what is going to happen here. RNG going to send Looper and mlxg back to base, both with 1,000 gold in their pockets. Even Uzi has about 1,000 gold there, so you might want to head back shortly too.
And this is one of the closer games that they've had to play lately, RNG, you know. We already said that the 2 games that they lost against EDG, they were pretty snowbally and honestly over before they really began. Finally an Infertile Drake, so we're going to get a team fight in 6 minutes, I can pretty much guarantee. But this time, it's honestly on a knife's edge. They're 2,000 gold behind, 26 minutes in. There is an advantage for Newbee, definitely, but not one that is insurmountable. And this is great for to see how they actually respond when challenged.
Curtain call coming out. Uzi going to dodge the first 2, the third and fourth as well. Happy, put that away.
Yeah. He's not doing great things with it as an opener fish. Really, it's about how you can close with the curtain call. But opening it up the team fight, not really working out for him.
Certainly not. So I'm actually going to find Dade up at the top side of the map here. Lands a spear, pounces away. And actually is still 60 CS ahead of Swift right now, so it's a nice lead for himself.
Yeah, but maybe caught out here. Here comes a Moby Boots double air Drake. Onto Swift.
Pillar does come down.
Ooh.
W tags him, but no damage dealt before the
That
snap.
looks awesome. He built Dead Man's Plate just for the red and green effects. Like, you can't tell me that does not look baller as hell.
It does look pretty cool. But I think that Dead Man Plate, you know, helps him out with stats more than it looks cool.
I don't know about that.
Armor, health, extra speed, damage.
And once again, you feel like RNG. Stop talking about stupid stuff. Once again, you see that RNG actually have the lane assignments that they want. They have the Kassadin against the Vladimir. They have the Hecarim in the top lane matchup against the Zed, because he can probably 1v1 him still at this point of the game. So, honestly, this is really nicely done from RNG. They keep jockeying for position and getting the matchups they want. And it is actually Newbee that is rotating away from them.
Newbee is still 3,000 gold ahead here, so they have the advantage if it comes to one of these team fights.
But the later the game goes, the less that gold advantage actually means anything. I mean, xiaohu's going to hit level 16. That's invaluable on a Kassadin. Looper is huge at the moment. I mean, he's 226 CS. If he ever gets onto Happy and digs the heals in, he's going to really do some work onto the Jhin.
Who's he actually forced to buy a Hex Drinker here as his third item?
Huh. That's interesting.
So can't pick up.
Because there's a lot of dive threat coming out of Dade, but I don't really think that the Vladimir can get towards him, so maybe a little bit too much respect here. Would have much rather to see the rapid fire cannon. And just sit back and see if you can light up V. If V flies towards you, that's fine. Just stand and deliver, try and challenge.
Not going to happen here. This game is becoming rather slow here. Lots of items being picked up across the board.
It's definitely closer to Newbee's pace of game than it was RNG's pace of game last time around.
And dade's now on the bottom side of this pit here. xiaohu looking rather aggressive here. Here comes a ghost coming in for Looper. Dade gonna get snared and feared up. He's gonna get taken down as soon as he comes out of this death mark here, trying to jump away. It's able to escape for now. V now straight into the fight. Has to put the pull down really early, but the rest of Newbee's collapsing. There goes the Zhonya's Hourglass straight away from xiaohu. He's gonna get taken down. Dade finds the first kill. Newbee have turned this one around. The chasing Looper. Coca-Cola is gonna come out. Finds Uzi. Tags him with 2 hits. The third one not gonna connect. Looking for the fourth straight on top of Looper there. As Newbee find 2 kills or 3 kills for themselves.
Yeah, and that is why Dade was known as one of the best Zeds in Korea, because he's able to get the ultimate, dashes away with a shadow, and still picks up the kill onto xiaohu. Now all of a sudden Newbee have a chance to move their way towards this Baron and really cement themselves the lead in game number 2.
And doing just that, a pick went wrong for RNG and Newbee turned around a team fight. Brilliant play coming in from their lineup. Very different from game at number 1. They're taking this one slow and steady, not quite at the pace that RNG had there.
xiaohu's up in 7 seconds. There's not really a ward to go towards for a teleport. They're starting to put some out. Be 10 seconds until Looper followers in.
Lots of damage going down towards Newbee's lineup, though they're all at half health. Here comes xiaohu, he's already into this fight. Looper probably going to look for a teleport as well. The Baron is low. There goes xiaohu straight in, but it's going to be secured by Newbee. Dade straight on top of Uzi at the back lines. They're going to try and take him out first. He will get that kill there. Deathmark procs. Looper straight to the back line, so we'll be able to take down the support, but xiaohu's gone down as well. Looper trying to do his best to take down the Spider, but Swift picks up a kill to xiaohu, and Newbee find 4 kills and the Baron.
Yeah, another 4 kills go across, and it is RNG with the desperation play, and it fails. Newbee now 6,000 gold in the lead, and Dade flew at Uzi on the back end of that fight. I mean, mlxg and xiaohu try and fly into the pit and get everything done, but it's really, as soon as Uzi approaches at all, the Dade just turns around, and you can see flies onto the AD carry and just deletes him off the map. That's why the Hex Trigger just made no sense to me. It's not going to save you against Dade. Nothing is at this point in the game.
And the rest of the fight just went so sour for RNG. They found 1 kill. That was it. The rest of it, not looking good.
Certainly wasn't. So all of a sudden, we're asking RNG to do what we normally ask out of this Newbee lineup, and that is just hold on. Your composition does scale incredibly well. But really now, 8,000 gold, 4 turrets to nothing, 3 dragons. They're in a really deep hole that they have to climb their way out of.
They're in a rough spot. RNG going to have to hold on for their dear life here against a very dive-heavy Newbee lineup.
27 seconds as well before that Infernal Drake does spawn. You can feel that that's probably going to be a no contest, at least at this stage of the game. And it was an Iceborne Gauntlet picked up for Looper, sorry. So not going towards the Trinity Force. Feels like he needs to be that sole tank.
Well, he is the only tank on the map right now. It's Newbee already looking towards this Infernal Dragon. It's a Guardian Angel being picked up there by the Elise. Swift going to come back to life after diving into the team. Infernal Dragon does go down there, so Newbee picked that one up. Elder Dragon is going to be spawning in the next 6 minutes.
And I talk about it a lot. The value on Infernal Dragon versus on some champions versus others. Jhin gets so much extra AD just from his passive. Dade Z is going to get so much extra AD from the fact that his W exists, and it's a percentage amplifier on AD that you purchase. And then V gets AP off health. This is probably one of the most stat efficient, worth Infernal Drags I've ever seen. Everyone on the Newbee lineup amplifies it even further.
Well, they're making good use of not only the Infernal Dragon, but also the Baron buff to take down 2 inner turrets.
10,000 gold now.
Yep. Looking good for Newbee so far. It's going to be pushing on towards the mid lane inhibitor. Nicely defended from RNG. Looper's are rather deep away from the base. Just doing Looper things, it seems. Newbee already looking to try and push down the bottom lane inhibitor turret. At any point in time, they can just pull the trigger on this one. Newbee doing their best to try and defend. They're going to step on a few traps there. Good Cocoon comes out, lands it towards Masados. Uzi takes a chunk of damage. Cool immediately popped there, hits mlxg a couple of times. Third one going to get dodged out by the pounce. The fourth will go through them, but the inhibitor turret is going to fall down. So it takes a lot of damage for that, but let's have the Guardian Angel.
That is a brute force coming out of Newbee, and RNG, they just let it happen. They open up the base. They got a pretty good opening there. But the Coat and Call forces him away from the turret. Newbee's broken the base.
RNG now looking to try and defend whatever is left of their base here. They have to hold on for their dear lives. Try and get as late in this game as possible to neutralize any gold advantage that Newbee have.
Yeah, probably need another 10 minutes, Fish. I mean, there's a lot of MR now being purchased on the Newbee lineup. I mean, Looper just doesn't do enough damage at all. mlxg has been missing in this game, going towards a Void Staff next.
He's been farming up a Storm, but just hasn't had the same impact that he had last game.
What you're waiting for is, you know, another Zeal item to come out, although maybe not even going to happen. The heal goes across to Uzi, and they just light someone up, but Uzi's not having a great performance. mlxg's not having a great performance. Just doesn't look like the chips are falling in their favor.
Certainly not. So the rest of the Newbee grouping back down towards the bottom side of the map. Dade going to be pushing out the wave, waiting for the rest of his team. He's got a Black Cleaver picked up as well as the Lord Dominic regard, so lots of damage coming out from this set. Whew.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe too much. Like, he's going to look at Uzi and he's going to die, but there's no survivability really. If Dade does fall down, that is a lot of the, I guess, kill potential on the Caitlyn. So he needs to make sure that he picks his moments well.
MlxG looking to try and throw a couple of spears out. Marta almost gets snared up. There's the curtain call one more time here. They just dodge out of the range of it. Marta's still going to get tagged by it. Gets killed by it. That was very poor positioning coming out from Marta. Opens up an opportunity. They take down the inhibitor.
And Marta absolutely fumbles the back end of that. I mean, they were all out of the cone. Very visible. And now it's just going to be Newbee walking through the base, and they're going to look to break it in another position.
Vladimir already split pushing up at the top side of the map. Does have the wave coming down. MlxG does take the W to the face from Happy. This turret's going to fall so quickly. No support for RNG to stop this one.
He's up in 10.
Turret does fall down. Inhibitor's going to be next here.
They're going to let it go. Double inhibitor now down. RNG, they're going to have creeps finally into their base, but that's where the good news stops because Baron's up again in another minute. And they've lost all touch with this game.
The game's been brought wide open for Newbee here. They have a decent team composition to go into the late game. RNG do scale, but it's going to be so difficult to scale into this massive Newbee side that just got 7,400 gold from that Baron power play.
Yep, no, we're going to chalk that one up as a pretty good power play. And as I said, 40 seconds, you know, they can go back, buy some new presents with all that newfound gold, and march it straight towards the Baron because really there's no way that RNG can contest this one.
13,000 gold behind the Newbee lineup. This is a disaster turning out for RNG.
And Uzi actually going towards what looks like to be a 4th item GA. So the Caitlyn going to be significantly lacking in damage. I mean, the Jhin has picked himself up an IE.
Caitlyn just trying to say, oh no.
What a disaster.
That's not your ward button. Dade call coming out. Finds a shot onto MlxG. Missing the next one. Hits the 3rd. 4th will miss.
It's a big cooldown. Creep waves are pushing into the bottom side. Really, it's do or die time right now for RNG. They can either choose to fight with every one of their members or they can back away, give up a free Baron and see if they can hold.
Newbee are just trying to stop their recalls, it seems. Just playing a big game of chicken, waiting for the minions to hit the base.
They're
Baron
going
is
to
up.
now.
They're going to take that one, and RNG just run away. They're looking to try and defend their base over to stopping this objective.
Yeah, and now they have to save that base turret because if that falls down, it's even worse news. They do manage to peel the creeps away from it, but it's on absolutely nothing. All of a sudden, Newbee's just going to look to kick down the front door, Fish. I think that's a huge mistake.
They're doing just that. They're heading straight towards the mid lane inhibitor with these Baroned up minions. Elder Dragon even going to spawn in 15 seconds in case things go sour for the Newbee lineup. Teleports are coming in towards the mid lane. They're looking to try and end
double
this
teleport
one.
coming out.
They're going to try and look for whatever fight they can. If they want to fight Aspie now, Lupo all the way in the backside. Marta's going for the initiation. They're on top of Dade here. Takes a lot of damage, but he's on top of Uzi, who has a GA to try and keep himself alive. They take it down Marta, though. Uzi's gone into that Guardian Angel form. Happy's right on top of them, flashing aggressively forward. Uzi trying to flash away. Kite this one out. Gets the kill. Suddenly, RNG get a good fight for themselves, but the base has been broken. This is desperate coming in from the RNG lineup, but a little too late as Lupa is the only member left alive.
And there's just too many carries on Newbee's lineup right now. They get the team fight they're looking for. A 15,000 gold lead is enough, and they will win game 2.
Newbee tie up the best of 3 series with a long, drawn-out game 2 with a very assassination team comp coming in against RNG.
And you can see a little smirk there on Dade's face. He was able to get Uzi a couple of times in that game. And that was mlxg not able to have an impact early. You know, Swift able to dictate a bully on the Elise pickup. Lupa didn't have enough damage to really threaten out the Jhin. And the bottom lane, because of the flash at level 1, just all went wrong.
Certainly did, and teamfights were just going sour left, right.